college? Well, unfortunately for you, you may not get it. In light of recent events, although you might be highly qualified, your spot may be taken by those who abuse money to bribe their way into universities. With college admissions being so difficult, some of the upper class are choosing to cheat the system and gain an unfair advantage with false recruitment, fraud, and altered test scores. The college admission scandals are unfair and unethical, as some of the rich gain an unfair advantage in college admissions. Whether it be paying others to take or modify their standardized test scores, or universities directly taking bribes from affluent families, unlawful methods of getting into respectable universities are on the rise and definitely more prevalent than the average American thinks it is. Annually, students coming from troubled beginnings of lower social classes but are very education-driven are deprived of the opportunity to strive for a better life because less intelligent but financially better off students are admitted into universities because of the connections and money that their parents have.
With the recent college scandals going on, the purpose of our documentary is to convince the parents of future college students to use honest methods to get into college and allow their children to make the best decision for themselves. With college admissions being so difficult, some of the upper class are choosing to cheat the system and gain an unfair advantage with false recruitment, fraud, and test scores. The college admission scandals are unfair and are unethical, as some of the rich are gaining an unfair advantage in the college admissions process. According to CNN and other big media outlets covering the issue, many parents paid several hundreds of thousands of dollars, up to $6.5 million, just to get their kids into big schools. So far, 50 people have been charged by U.S. Attorney in the District of Massachusetts because of this fraud. Lately, parents have been trying to fulfill their dreams through their kids and are using fraudulence, such as falsified test scores and illegal transactions, to get them into prestigious schools, when in reality, this is becoming a consequence with jail time and court time. For example, actress Lori Loughlin and her husband paid USC $500,000 for her daughters to be recruited onto the crew team, even though they did not participate in crew. Similarly, actress Felicity Huffman and her husband paid a proctor to take the ACT and SAT as well as other standardized tests to get her daughter into big schools as well. High school parents paid $25 million collectively to get their kids into college. William Rick Singer was the mastermind behind much of the scandal and was paid $25 million by parents, and his sentencing is set for June of this year after pleading guilty to the scandal. At least 33 parents, 13 coaches, and 2 test administrators were working alongside Rick Singer to get their kids into big schools. False recruitment of student athletes has played a huge role into the issue as well. Deciding whether the student is an actual athletic collegiate or if they're just trying to attend the college by committing to the school early on in their high school career has contributed to the investigation of the scandals. When committing to a school to play a sport, many student athletes receive financial aid and scholarships to continue to play the sport at the collegiate level. While some students are true to their commitment, some universities are scammed by the statistics of these athletes and are falsely accepting these students into their D1 schools. According to Chronicle.com, an online newspaper that presents news and information on education at universities as well as student affairs, some colleges told the media outlet that they would make changes to athletics, recruiting, and admissions after the scandal. For instance, Ivy League schools such as Brown and Princeton University did not directly answer to change oversight of athletic recruiting, while other top schools such as UPenn and Dartmouth College accepted this fraudulence as unethical and agreed to change in oversight of athletic recruiting. According to blogs, and other sources affiliated with college admissions and education, top universities will continue to remain expensive and be valued at a higher price, in addition to producing a handful of scholarships for low-income students. The elite colleges are doing just what they should be doing strategically. That is, keeping their prices high, increasing every year, and having low acceptance rates. The fact that parents pay bribes to get their kids into schools shows that they believe that there's value. That value should be there for others too. The fact that many more just pay the tuition with no drop-off when tuition increases shows that they have no other options.
This is Ashley Solomit. She is a freshman at Texas A&M University studying biomedical sciences. Hi Ashley, I wanted to ask you a couple questions about the college admissions scandal. First of all, have you seen any college admissions scandal firsthand?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Have you heard of any college admissions scandals from colleges across the nation?
Yes, all over Twitter and the news and all sorts of outlets.
So, from what you have seen, what is your opinion on the issue?
Well, I think it's really sad that so many hardworking students who don't have the money to bribe the school, and just in general because it's wrong, that they're being a step behind because other people are bribing their way through, if that makes sense. And it's just really unfair to those students who work hard and get a good, honest high school degree, and then if they're being compared to someone who's bribing the school, it's really just unfair about the whole situation, I guess.
Would you consider yourself to be one of those people who was maybe put at a disadvantage compared to others who may have gotten an unfair advantage?
Honestly, no, but at the same time, I don't know what I don't know. So, I could have been a victim, if you will, of that, but I did get into every school I applied to, so I wouldn't say I was a victim in any sense, and I don't believe my school has anything to do with the bribery scandal, so that's good news to hear.
And finally, how do you think it affects others in colleges across the nation?
Well, I think it affects others because if you did apply to a school and didn't get in, then your whole life could be changed. If you didn't get in because someone else bribed the school, and then you didn't have your spot, and your life could be drastically different based on what school you go to. You know what job opportunities are in the city, or what the degree is. And then another big effect I believe is a thing is future employers are hearing about this scandal, and if they hear you went to a school that was involved in this scandal, they might be like, this degree might not be as valuable from this school, and the employers might not trust you as much just because you're associated with that school. I don't know if it's not fair to judge people that went to that school and weren't involved in it, but it might be one of their first thoughts.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
While doing research and planning our next steps for our project, we got the idea of why not ask an USC admissions officer, because after all, they are some of the most involved and knowledgeable people about the recent admissions scandal. So, on April 4th, we emailed Mr. Vegas of USC Admissions and asked him 5 questions. How surprising was the scandal to you? How often have scandals like these occurred? How has recent events affected current students of USC? Do you think the scandal might skew admissions into USC and other schools in the future? And will admissions into schools take now different factors into account, such as ethnicity and social background? We knew it certainly was a touchy topic because the scandal was quite new at the time, and updates and new information regarding the scandal were still coming out. So we weren't expecting very much, if anything at all, but we decided to shoot our shot and try regardless. response we got wasn't surprising, but still definitely interesting. He let us know that officially he's not allowed to disclose information or answer our questions, but he did send us several links to sites about education articles and certain articles that provided to be quite useful. The articles he sent provide us information from the perspective of USC students and also USC rejects who are appalled that peers with Ivy League stats were rejected from Ivies and even some USC schools. The articles also discussed how bribery and the use of connections proves to be a disadvantage to students coming from low-income households and lesser means. One article also discussed the response of 20 deans of admissions of prestigious schools about their opinions on whether there should be changes to oversight of athletic recruitment, and also their opinions on whether there should be a dire need for broader reform. Several of these elite schools refused to reply, but those who did agreed that on some scale, reforms and changes in protocol are needed to prevent these unlawful actions in the future. The most important takeaway from this experience was that seeing that Mr. Vegas and the rest of the USC admissions officers, and probably other such officers at the implicated universities, are unable to disclose certain information shows the seriousness of the situation, because it not only reflects bad on the school but demonstrates how the scandal is very real, serious, and a sensitive issue as of right now.
To get a better insight and hear about a different perspective on the effects of the college scandal, we interviewed Uni Lynch through a FaceTime call. Ms. Lynch was a college admissions officer for colleges such as Swarthmore, University of Delaware, University of Pennsylvania, and American College. Starting out by saying how surprised she was to hear about the scope of these scandals, she explained how it wasn't the students' fault, but in fact many of the parents who pushed for these fraudulences to get them into elite schools. When we asked about how many attempted bribery or false test scores at her time as a counselor, Ms. Lynch did not hesitate to answer yes, and said she had seen 20 out of the 2,300 applications at the time. Even though this isn't a big proportion of students, she said, it made a big impact on the student's time at the college. Because the student was attending the college based on a false merit, he or she wasn't necessarily an honest fit for the college because of its level of education or competitiveness, therefore causing them to be unhappy and eventually drop out. Pressured by their parents' riches and dreams of attending the college, Ms. Lynch explained how college admissions counselors like herself were there to choose students that were best suited for the college, but often couldn't tell because of the falseness of the application or the bribery of the money involved. Lastly, when we asked about how illegal acts like this could be avoided and the advice to give to schools and their facilities that have been associated with the college admission scandal, Mrs. Lynch explained how donations often played a big part in getting kids into selective schools and how often they work to provide a sense of guaranteed admission into prestigious schools. More ethical than illegal acts and fraudulence, Mrs. Lynch said that honesty and merit were the best ways to ensure the best applications submitted. As far as advice she would give to the school caught up in the scandals, Mrs. Lynch said that the best thing to do now was to trust and verify the applications for the upcoming admission season. One piece of information that really stood out to us was when she said that the act of attending college or university wasn't a prize to be won. It was a place to enhance your knowledge and a place for you to succeed. We thought that this added a good perspective to the debacle of attending the college of the student's choice versus of the parents.
The fact that some rich people have used methods to get their kids into colleges such as bribery and false test scores is unethical, as it gives an unfair advantage into their admissions, treating college as a game that you can cheat on instead of as a place for higher education. Starting now, instead of using bribery and dishonesty on applications, well-off parents need to implement donations for buildings to colleges that help everyone at the school and let their child have more power over their college experience as a whole.